Just like cheating, when you're married to someone with an addiction, it feels like a betrayal. Not a betrayal the same way that cheating is, because cheating is an act of choice. I know a lot of women have been lied to, gaslit, had all these secrets, had to find out insane things about their husbands, then had to suffer all the consequences of it. I know one woman who found out right after she married a man that she shares a child with that he owes almost $1 million to the IRS, and now she is forked. So this last video that I talked about was about, when men cheat, they don't cheat on their wives, they cheat on their whole family, and why that feels like such a betrayal to the children. It's not about and like I've already covered this, it's not about him needing schmegs. First of all, men don't need schmegs. Second of all, it is not about the schmegs most of the time. It is about something else going on. It's about escapism. It is about entitlement. It is about getting high off of getting away with something, right? And I'd even argue that most of men's problems in relationships is about them acting like children, literally acting. You know how when kids will lie and kids want to get away with things because they don't want to face consequences? So many men deal with that. They will lie to your face instead of actually tell you the truth. They literally become a little boy. And so sometimes they're trying to get away with something because they don't want to deal with the natural consequences of their actions, which is their wife being pissed, rightfully so, about something. A lot of times it's more about them just getting off on lying and sneaking around and the excitement of all that. The same thing, that's why rich girls shoplift. They don't need that stuff. It's more about the excitement of getting away with something. But this is why I tell you all the time, and believe me, I know addictions. I have struggled with my own, but I've also put in so much hard work to recover from them so that I don't ever bring someone else into my crap. And also for myself, right? I don't want to die. But the problem is a lot of women will end up with men with addictions, alcohol, wrongs, corn, whatever, gambling. And these addictions will ruin women's lives. And even if they don't ruin women's lives, do you know how hard it is to look someone in the eye and not know if they're telling you the truth or not, because all they do is lie? There's an old saying, how do you know an addict's lying? Their mouth is moving or whatever. And a lot of times it's not even necessarily addiction. I know one man who was sneaking out to oh God, I can't even tell the story. But it was it was weird. It's weird stuff. A lot of men are so sneaky in their behavior. They literally turn us into their mothers. They want to go do their thing with no consequence. They want to get away with their thing, and they hide it and hide it and hide it because they don't want to suffer the consequences of it, because they just seem to forget they are married and that they should just be able to live the single life forever, which is self-destruct or do whatever it is that they want to do, while also reaping the benefits of being tied to someone who suffers from all of the consequences of their actions are almost always going to immediately fall on their partner, especially their wife, because she's the one who always cleans up these messes. I have endless stories of the things that women have had to do to clean up the messes of the reckless men, the addictive men, the cheating men. Even let's say, for instance, a man cheats and then they decide to work it out. Great. Do you know how much couples counseling that woman has to go through with him in order to forgive him, or counseling on her own in order to forgive him and look him in the eye and not hate him? That man's decision to abandon his family, to go get some cheap thrills without caring about the consequences going on, now she has to deal with this, right? This is what I'm telling y'all. Men are so selfish. I swear, the root of all their problems, the root of every single heterosexual problem in a marriage, when it comes to the men, is their utter selfishness and entitlement, because they just don't think about anyone but themselves in terms of consequences, in terms of money. I've gone over this plenty of times. Men will literally spend all the family's money on useless crap, where the women are usually the ones around the globe who are pouring their money back into the family, while dad's off buying, a new climbing rack, or, literally just whatever he wants, because he needs this thing and he deserves this thing because he works like a big boy. Even though she works, she just doesn't get paid for all of her work at home. And then she also usually works outside the house. And it's even worse with couples where the woman makes more money. You would think it would actually be better, but these men are oftentimes worse. They just feel so threatened by the woman who makes more money. I swear to God. So I'm not even talking about just affairs. And also, when it comes to affairs, I have no problem with open relationships, y'all. I got some comments on my post yesterday. I am not like, yay, monogamy, purity culture, blah. If you know anything about me, I'm not at all that way. In fact, one of the many amazing things that I've learned from my LGBTQ plus friends and watching their marriages is a lot of them have open marriages, and honestly their relationships are some of the healthiest marriages I know because they're honest with each other and they have clear boundaries around who they can hook up with and who, like they talk about it. Whereas most cis-het couples, the men who want open relationships don't want her to have an open relationship. They want her to and this is why women need to call them on their bluff. I think that women aren't going to want to sleep with anyone else. And really when they want an open relationship, they want it open for themselves. And if they actually call it an open relationship and inform their wives that they're in an open relationship, because a lot of these men on these dating apps who say they're in open relationships or they're poly, their wives don't know that. Just so you know. Majority of these men, their wives are not aware that they are in an open relationship because the men don't want them sleeping around. Because a selfish, entitled person thinks that the rules don't apply to anyone but them. I am not against open relationships. I honestly think it's kind of weird that we expect somebody to only have schmegs with one person for 30, 40, 50, 60 years? Like, I know it's possible. I know that is what some people want. I'm not judging that. But I'm also like, before I got married, I was like, wait a second. Can we make sure that we constantly talk about this? Because I don't know if I can be monogamous. So we talked about it and we made some parameters around it that for, at least how many years we're like, it's just us. But if we want to revisit it and want to open it up. And Anthony was like, I don't think I'm going to want that. But if that's what you need, then we should talk about it if that comes up. Okay? So believe you me, I do not necessarily think that purity culture-based, strictly monogamous relationships are necessarily the best for everybody. In fact, I'd argue that a lot of times they're very limiting. Some people, to each their own. You make your own rules of your couple. The problem is that men are so selfish and so entitled and such liars. They're such liars that they don't want to tell you what they're doing. They don't want to make clear-cut boundaries and do things that actually involve your consent because they want to do what they want to do when they want to do it with who they want to do it with however much money they want to do it with and feeling like they have to bring you into that decision makes them feel like a little boy who's got to ask mommy because that's what they turn you into, their mommy. So then you have to reprimand them like their mommy, like, what was this? Why did you buy this? Where's all this? So this isn't about open marriages or, whatever. This is what I'm talking about right now is the betrayal involved in lying. And before someone's like, well, women do it too. I know that. I'm very well aware of that. Women can be very deceptive, manipulative, and have all kinds of bullshit crap in their relationships too. But the reason why I'm always focusing so much on men is because of the way they've been conditioned since the day they were born is that the world is their oyster and they are entitled to all of it and that the rules don't apply to them because women aren't equal to them. So you better believe they do it more. By it, I mean lie, sneak around, gaslight you. I'm not even joking when I say that sometimes some of the healthiest marriage, some big thing will come up and it's because he was doing some BS and lying about it. Like he spent money on something, just lie. They lie through omission all the time. And they're like, I didn't lie. Well, you didn't tell me this very important thing that would affect me. They literally will lie right to your face. No. And then they wonder why we have so many trust issues. Every woman I know has had a man lie straight to her face. And I'm not saying women don't lie. What I am saying is that men lie all the time. They are the biggest liars because of the way they've turned us into their mother, because of the way that they want to get away with things, because of the way that they don't want to grow the F up. So they're like children, but with all the power and money, and they could also kill you in an instant. Betrayal trauma is a thing. That is what I have a problem with. The line is so hard to get over.